We are live. Hello, everyone.
Hi. Hey guys.
Hello, and welcome to the Summer of Live. I am your pitch hitting co-host, Amber Bracegirdle. This week, Jenny is out. We are so sad that she's not here with us, but we are going to carry on and do our best for her. With me, I have Brandy O'Neill and Jocelyn Brubaker. Two of our, as we refer to them, our original six, when we started ad management at Mediavine. So everybody say hello and we will get started. I see Kristen Cook's already saying hi. Alrighty. So I'm just going to jump right in, guys. We have a bunch of questions teed up for you. And I'm excited to talk to you guys more about your blogs and how you came to be part of the original crew. So first question of the day, let's hear a little bit about your blog and your blogging journey. We'll start with Jocelyn.
It's been a crazy 12 years, actually. I was just thinking about that. Like, it'll be 12 years this fall when I started blogging. It seems like a long time, but it feels like it's gone by really fast, too. So it really just started mainly as a hobby. Kids went to school, and I was sitting here twiddling my thumbs, like, what do I do now? So decided to start blogging, and it's been fun to see how it's changed over the years, like just from mine being just everything, like crafts and family life and food, and just how I narrowed it down into food over the last, 5 or 6 years then.
Right. And that was where sort of your domain name came from, right? Because
it was
BruCrewLife.com.
Yep, inside BruCrew Life. It was just a look inside kind of what I was doing. So, It was basically a journal, kind of a online diary. Here's the spitting out of everything of what I'm doing right now.
Sounds about right. Brandy?
So I started Nutmeg Nanny as a hobby. I had gone back to school and I was working as a nanny, and I worked at nighttime as opposed to during the day.
Oh, okay.
And I was bored because schoolwork doesn't
sleep.
Yeah, and kids sleep, believe it or not. So I started a blog. I ran across Peabody's blog.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be, I don't know, she changed names and now I feel awful because my brain is blanking. But that was the first blog I ever read, and I read the comments and I was like, oh my gosh, people actually interact with strangers and they all seem to get along. So I decided to have a blog as a hobby. I've been doing it for 10 years, and then somehow it turned into a job, which is not bad because I do quite enjoy working from home and in my pajamas. So I'm not complaining.
Right. And that's kind of how we all got to know each other anyway. A lot of people don't know that I was a food blogger. My blog's 11 years old now. That's how we all met, was just through different Skype groups, right? Because that's what it was back then. It wasn't Facebook
Skype groups, share parties, like those link parties.
Yeah.
Like that's how a lot of people.
I was in Yahoo groups.
Wow.
With other bloggers to take that back.
That's amazing. So you ladies are two of our original six, as I said, who started before Mediavine ads were even a thing. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with Food Fanatic and then how that evolved to the ad stuff for you.
I don't know if I'm supposed to go, but I guess we'll just start talking.
Yes, go for it, Brandy. We'll switch back and forth.
So I think you approached me and you were like, hey, do you want to write for Food Fanatic? And I was just, sure, why not? I rarely say no to anything. So I started writing for you guys, and then obviously that relationship grew into something more. But that was pretty much how I got started with Food Fanatic.
You were our cocktail fanatic, if I remember correctly.
I was, yes. I do love drinking, so.
It's cans. And Jocelyn?
It's kind of the same thing. I think you had approached me about writing for Food Fanatic years ago and started doing that as one of the breakfast contributors. And then I was with a different ad company at the time, and wasn't bad, wasn't great, and like had a lot of unsettled feelings, kind of like just, I can't ever pinpoint it, still can't to this day, but just that unsettled feeling, like I just wasn't happy with the company. And I think I was either talking with you and maybe Amy from Sugary Sweets, and we were talking about it, and you mentioned to me that there was a possibility that you were looking at possibly doing ads. And at that point I was like, you know what, if you're ready to take people on, I'm your guinea pig, go ahead, just take my site.
I think Brandy said something similar. Yeah, I think back then it was kind of like, it was just one more thing on the plate that you had to worry about, right? Like,
well, I didn't even have ads for the first 4 years of my blog because I just didn't like the way they looked. And I didn't treat my blog as a moneymaker.
Yeah.
So I was like, screw that, I don't need ads. So I feel like when you approached me, I was like, yeah, whatever, just do what you do.
And how do you feel about it now?
I feel very happy. I'm glad that I got out from under, what was I with? Glam, and then Ad Thrive, and then you guys.
Glam, yikes.
Glam, let's not even, some people are still ragey about that. I got out before the
fallout.
Yeah, the 1 day shutdown and no one getting anything.
Yeah. Boy, that was hard for a lot of bloggers.
That was insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was kind of my next question is, what was your previous monetization like? So when you switched, how did you find it different? Like, what were we doing differently even back then that worked better for you?
I'm going to say like just the openness, the transparency, like that was huge. Like with the previous ad company I was with, like there were questions I had that didn't have answers, or things that would go on that I didn't understand or they didn't explain very well. And you guys from the get-go, just, you're transparent with everything. If something happens, you let us know. And I mean, I think that's been a huge part of, why I stay with you guys and why I trust you guys.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when you come at it as a publisher, right, we were dealing with the exact same thing with our own ad company. And so I think all four of us were really intentional that if we were going to get involved in this kind of thing, that we were definitely not going to beat around the bush when things go south. So let's talk about blogging for a minute, because we've all been blogging for more than a decade. How would you guys say that blogging has changed even in the last 4 years, like since we started doing ads, or, over the whole 10 years, 12 years? Jocelyn, you start. Brandy, pipe in.
All right.
Like I said, when I started, it was basically, blogging was like journaling, like online, like an online diary, I guess you'd say. I mean, here's a few pictures, here's what I did. You just kind of shared whatever, whenever. There was no set schedule. And I think in the last 4 to 5 years, like I've seen it change so much as far as, ad networks are taking an interest. Like they see the community that we build, and so they're interested, and that changes the whole perspective of everything. Like, obviously blogging isn't so much anymore a journal or a diary. Now I've tried to keep a little portion of that with mine because that's how I built it, and I don't want to let go of all of it. Right. But it's like I don't write as much stories anymore, in a food thing. You try to add more, things that people are going to ask, like here, are they going to ask questions on this particular recipe, and can I answer it before they even, ask me those questions? So adding more of that stuff, I think, as opposed to the stories.
Right. We all.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, we all hear the complaints about the stories. I don't care about the complaints, but go ahead, Brandy.
The complainers are the worst. Sorry, guys, but you are. So when I first started, I feel like obviously the blogging world was much smaller than it is now.
Yes.
And it really was just, I don't know, it's like the wild west of blogging days. There was no social media. Facebook didn't even have pages.
Right.
Like if your fans wanted to interact with you, you had to allow them. You had to allow them to be friends with you.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I've actually made some good friends from people who read my blog, but there's also a lot of slightly intense people that I don't want to be friends with.
I mean, I don't have a lot of room to talk. I met my husband online, but
yes, me too. Match.com.
Mine was before their online dating was a thing, but
oh my gosh. Oh, that's even worse. And you didn't get murdered.
I didn't get murdered. But yeah.
I also think that back when I started, companies rarely paid bloggers to do everything. I got so many free yogurt coupons, and I'm not even going to pretend to be mad. I was actually super excited.
We were excited about it. Yeah.
I told my husband, I was like, dude, you can get free yogurt coupons from blogging. Like I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And now I make enough to actually have an income. But back then it was a lot of free coupons and no one actually wanting to pay for anything. And Yahoo groups
still don't want to.
They still don't want to. Karen made a comment about fluorescent kitchen lit photos. We all have them. We all do.
There's so many. They need redone. So many that need redone.
I have a cake that I made, and it's with a flash. I took the picture with a flash. It's sitting on a red plate with a paper towel underneath it.
Oh, damn.
And drizzled with something that looks like something else. It's really bad. And I still haven't changed it because I sort of like having that one hideous photo up there as a reminder of honestly
where
how
you've
far
come from.
Yeah, in terms of photography.
I love that. Yeah, Courtney Odell says she used to get paid in diapers and loved it. Beth Baumgartner says more yogurt coupons. Jen Kopelek says exactly. We had to learn photography, video, in process, so much more. Man, there's so many skills that we brought to the table. I used to remember arguing with a coffee brand that I worked with that didn't want to pay us, right? And I would say to them, listen, you're getting the food stylist and the photographer and the social media marketer and the content creator all in one. Like, budget out how much you would pay for all of those people, and you're getting it in one person.
Yeah, and I think the first paid campaign I did was like $150, and I was just
ecstatic, right?
Oh my gosh, I was like, and then I was like, free coupons. Now I'm getting money. Like,
we thought we were big stuff. You make $200, and you were like, woohoo! Look at me.
And I feel like we did not have the resources like we do now. We have these food blogging groups, and there's a part of me sometimes that gets a little like stabby when new bloggers come in and they're like asking all these questions. And in my mind, I'm like, I had to learn all of this myself.
Yeah.
There was no one to ask. I think like sometimes you have to do a little bit of the hard work yourself to find out like the journey that you want to go on with your blog, because everybody runs their blog like totally different.
Right.
So like what's good for me really may not work for you at all.
Right. Or your audience, because it's completely and totally a fingerprint, unique to you, unique to the people that visit your site, for sure.
So,
is there a brand or a campaign that you guys worked on that, like, when you first started blogging, you kind of had them in your mind as, if I ever get to work with that brand, I will just like lose my mind, that you've since been able to?
So speaking of getting free products, so Lucky Leaf was one of mine that I'm still working with. They started by sending me free product. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll make a post for you with your pie filling. And just over the years, I've just been able to grow it into a paycheck with them. And, so that's been kind of fun, to see that over the course of over 6 years, roughly.
Right.
So for me, I was obsessed with Nelson Massey Vanilla. And I would always see Ina use it. And of course, that's how I found out about it. And I'm obsessed with Ina. Like, when I grow up, I just want to be her. I just want to live out in the Hamptons and have brunch parties and long denim
button-down shirts and leggings.
I could rock the hell out of a long denim button-down shirt. But basically, like when when I started blogging, I was like, this is my dream company. I would tag them in everything I use, and I'm like, just notice me. And the first time I did a paid campaign with them, all I could think of is like, I'm having my Ina moment.
Oh, that's so awesome. I want to hear if anybody in the that's watching right now has any brands like that you want to share with us. Please tell us. I would love to know your story too. All right, let's see here. So you guys know that Mediavine sort of started with food because we were already in food.
Yeah.
But we've since branched out to every kind of lifestyle niche, which both of you have done as well. Travel, for example. I think, Jocelyn, didn't you just get off of a cruise or you're about to go on one?
We went last week. So we actually just made it in the nick of time, got to see Cuba before they closed it down again.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. So, but added travel posts to, just, that I have some inspirational and faith-based posts that I've added, and people seem to really resonate with some of that stuff. Like it, I think it shows that we're real, that we have things outside of our kitchen that we do as well. Like I'm
absolutely.
So.
And Brandy, I'm waiting for you to start a plant blog any second now. Any second.
I know. I actually have a list of posts that I want to write that are not food related.
I knew it.
I just need somebody to write them for me.
Okay, cool.
Because I the part of blogging that I hate is typically the writing.
Not the photography.
Not the photography. Yeah. Not the coming up with ideas. If there was a job that involved me just developing recipes or coming up with recipe ideas all day long, I could do it. I could give you like 200 new recipes a day. But if you told me to write 200 posts, I would be like, oh, this will take me 900 years. Because I feel like I never know what to say. But the plant post is coming, especially because I've seen some other people who I don't deem worthy to be speaking about plants posting.
Oh boy.
Plant posts.
Okay.
I'm just being a brat. But I was like, plants are my thing, and I'm going to post about them. So I need to do a beauty pageant glamour shots with my plants, and then I'll be doing a post on them.
Do they have names?
They don't have names.
Okay.
I have way too many plants to actually name them.
Well, so I will tell you, one of our engineers has a friend that that started a succulent subscription business, and I belong to it. And they send you your succulent.
Yes!
Yeah, they send you little name labels. It's so awesome.
Oh,
so I have started naming my plants. So
it makes them fun.
Well, I would say I don't name mine because I killed them, so they don't live long enough.
So that would be really sad.
It would be sad if I had names.
So yeah, I mean, part of the reason that I asked this question is we love hearing that audiences are really okay with you being a real person who has multiple facets to your life and blog. Because a lot of time, I'm in a lot of blogging groups for beginner bloggers to try and help where I can. And a lot of times I hear them like they don't even want to get out of the box of whatever niche they decided to go into. They somehow don't feel it's right to write about something that is authentic to their life, that somehow their audience will get mad about it. And I just wanted to get y'all's perspective, as you've written about things that aren't food, do you ever get feedback like that? Or does your audience say, this is so awesome? What sort of feedback do you get from that stuff?
Well, I'm going to say that I actually have a pretty kind audience. They're not mean to me. I feel like some bloggers have really ragey readers, and thank God, I don't have that type. But especially in this year, I have become, I would say, more dedicated to sharing more of my real self, because I was really bored with just being food Brandy. And my whole life isn't consumed with just food.
Recipes.
I love to travel. I love to do, things around my house. I love my plants. I love my cats. I like to hike. And the first change I made was Instagram. I took a look at my feed a year ago, and I realized it was just food, just all food shots. And I was like, this isn't me.
Yeah.
And so I've become more, I guess, devoted to sharing who I really am. And I mean, I'm speaking at the Mediavine conference next week, and the topic that I'm speaking about is like how to be your true self, and sharing a lot of stuff, like even personal things that I would have thought before that maybe people wouldn't have understood or wouldn't care about. And in the end, I find that people really appreciate when you're real with them. And it actually makes my audience at least connect to me on a much deeper level.
Right.
And they're more committed to wanting to know me and my story. So for me, it's actually been a fantastic change. And I found like a whole support group of people that I wouldn't have imagined existed if I hadn't openly spoke about, just like I said, everything from as mundane as cats to the fact that I suffer from depression. Like,
right.
I'm open about it, and people are loving and kind. And I think in the end, they just want to know that we're all real people. Like, I'm not just some random machine.
Right. Like, I mean, Jocelyn, in your case, I think your readers have seen your kids grow up. You started when your youngest was really tiny, right?
Yeah, he was 4, I think, and he'll be 16 in a couple of months. So yeah, a lot of them, and it's fun. Like when I do share photos, like people are like, "Oh my gosh, look how big your kids are," and that's when I'll get the comments of, from the readers who are like, "Oh, I remember when your kids were so little." Yeah, and it makes you take a stop and you're like, "Oh my gosh." I can't believe there's still people that, follow me from way back then. And
speaking as a reader, I couldn't believe the last time you posted a picture of him. I was like, he's a grown man.
He's actually wearing grown men clothes now, like he grew up. It was funny. We were looking at pictures a couple days ago, and he was asking, "Mom, how old was I in that picture? Was I like 4?" And we were like, "No, buddy, you were like 10 in that picture. You were just tiny."
Oh man, that's rough. So a couple of people. So first of all, Megan says Brandy's sausage blog. I don't know what's going on there. That's an inside joke I don't know about.
First of all, I can't even believe
that Megan said it. I mean, come on. Jen Kopelek said she got to work with St. Augustine in Florida and got to go on a trip. I think, those are some of the most memorable ones. I once went on a trip with the Walnut Board out to California, went to Sacramento for the first time and got to eat lunch in a walnut grove. And it was the most amazing experience. That kind of stuff is so memorable. And people are like, but they didn't pay you. And I'm like, you know what? I got paid. It just wasn't in dollars. It's okay. Jenny Field says that you should get Benny to write your posts, Brandy.
She's a lazy lump who's sleeping next to me. I want her to wake up so that I can just hold her up.
So that she can wander across your screen the way that Steffi's Cora does during our marketing meetings. That's
maybe
super
before
fun.
we sign off, I'll grab her and show her to everybody so they
that
can
would
see
be
her.
Awesome. Cheryl from the Tidy Mom says hers was Coca-Cola. That's when she really felt like she made it. Nicole from our support team says she doesn't name the plants or the chickens. Jenny Field said, don't get me started on Pinterest boards. Travel isn't in my niche, so I don't want to pin travel stuff and confuse people. Like people who write about food never travel or plan trips. Lord. So true.
Yeah, when people are like, I don't want to hear your life story. And I'm like, do you think my life's like, do you think that I actually have 300 words to say about beef stroganoff? Like,
I want you to have 500 or 1,000. That's what I want.
I'll never do it. I won't do it.
Okay. Fair enough.
You'll fail. No, I'm kidding.
You'll fail.
I know I need to stop resisting change. I just am like, the more Google says you have to write more, it's like, it's opposites. Back in the day, I wrote a ton and no one cared. And then I stopped writing. And then Google cared and they're like, write a ton. But now you just have these large groups of people who are like, I am so sick of hearing your story. Can I get a jump to the recipe button?
No, you can't.
And I'm like, but Google doesn't want me to.
Google.
Jenny Fields also said, wait, as mundane as cats, who are you right now, Brandy? That's pretty funny. Okay, let's see here. Where are we in this question stock?
Oh,
all right, guys, bear
we
with
are
me.
we are all about education here, and I hope that we can help all of our publishers. It's the last question on the
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, Brandy, for taking that. We're all about education at Mediavine. We try to make that pretty clear. It doesn't matter if you work with us or you work with anybody else. We're trying to lift up blogging. Have you learned anything specific that you wish you'd known before you started, or have you learned anything from Mediavine that's been particularly helpful along the way? Tell me about that. Brandy, you go, and then Jocelyn.
SEO. I wish
she says she won't write 1,000 words about anything.
Okay, I'll do it. No, I mean, back in the day, I had no structure to anything. I was obsessed with using like the ellipses, like everything, instead of using a period, I was doing dot, 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 next sentence. My posts were a disaster. I just took the recipe and literally would write it right into the post. In fact, I don't even think there really was like recipe cards 10 years ago. And I wish I would have understood like how important that was, because going back to all those posts is so much work.
Yeah.
That I could spend a year going through and rewriting all of my posts, and then I'd probably have to start all over again because Google will have changed something else that they now want.
Right.
So I feel like had I known that kind of stuff was important, it would have been nice to start off doing it correctly.
So that it was habit.
Yeah, and I wish I also would have taken advantage maybe of ads back in the day, because about a year after I started blogging, I had like a really viral thing. And had I actually treated my job, like my blog, as a job, I feel like I could have stayed like, I don't know, maybe more on the top. Yeah,
Gotcha.
like on the top of like, because I mean, I was like killing it and I didn't even realize it. I didn't even have Google Analytics. And when I hooked it up, I was like, oh, wow, I'm getting like, it was like 1 year of blogging. So it would have been like 2000 and I don't know, 10. And I had like 500,000 page views a month.
Whoa.
It was like killer for then. And guess what? I didn't have any ads.
Out, Brandy.
And like, so I wish I really would have like reined that in and been like, this is your opportunity to keep this and run with it. Instead, I was just like, I don't even know what that means. And, you know, continue to do my own thing, which was the wrong thing. So.
Gotcha. Jocelyn?
I would say that sounds like my story. Like, you know, 10, 11 years ago, I'm like, people kept telling me, oh, put ads on, you should do this. And I'm like, why? I don't want to. I'm just doing this as a hobby. It's not, I don't want to blog for money. Silly me.
Right.
You know, now I'm all about it. But, you know, it's just, I wish I had known about SEO and keywords. And, you know, because like I said, I go back to some of these old posts and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, same thing, the ellipses, you know, all different, like, I don't know, use of all sorts of parentheses that just are, you're like, why? Why did you do that?
Lots of smiley faces.
Yes, lots of smiley faces. And then just not even any sentence structures. Like I would have like one sentence on one line, one sentence. Like, I don't even, it's like, it was like a poem or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
A poem.
Some of that, like, I've known enough to do some of this, like the SEO and the keywords. Where, like you said, I've got like 1,000+ recipes that I'm like, it takes me forever to go back and fix stuff, you know?
Yeah. Although, I mean, I will say, like, as someone who talks about SEO all the time, I will say, guys, you still rank for stuff. So it's not like that stuff is necessarily hurting you or did hurt you. And the other thing is that it's a blog, right? This is your story. There are a lot of people that started around the time we did that started as passion projects, right? That's exactly what all three of us started as. There are people today that started as a business from day one. And I would say there are plus and minuses to that, right? Like we started as a passion project, so it was really easy to come up with ideas for content and to put content out for a long time because we were so passionate about it. Whereas if you started as a business, you could, in my estimation, you could actually get burnt out quicker because you're just trying to get the page views and you don't necessarily have the love yet. Right. Right.
Yeah.
So, there's plus and minuses to both sides.
Oh, sorry.
No, go
I'm
ahead.
a little interrupter.
No, please.
I was going to say, I find that when I try to buckle down and tell myself, like, you're going to do things, like, you're going to read that checklist and you're going to put everything in your post, like, I don't like it. And it burns me out. Like, I have I want all of the glory, but none of the hard work. And if someone could do that for me, that would be great.
I mean, they can. There are VAs that'll do it for you. They just cost money.
Well, see, that's a problem.
That's what I thought.
But I like kind of not caring sometimes. Sometimes I just want to make a recipe that I want to make, and I don't want to spend a bunch of time looking on, SEMrush and being like, oh, what's the next biggest thing that I can try and rank for? Like,
right.
Like, I just want to make.
And I encourage that wholeheartedly, because if you lose that, then what are we even doing?
Yeah, it's like the world doesn't need another, strawberry cheesecake recipe. There's 12,000 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to make something like that anymore. I want to do something cool and interesting. And it may not rank as high as someone else, but I'm still trying to keep the thing that I love about blogging with my job.
Yeah. That makes me so happy to hear someone else say that, because that's kind of my thoughts on it. Like, yes, I'm trying to rank for things that, you try to make some recipes that people are searching for. But at the same time, I'm like, I have so many fun ideas and new things that, you want to make those recipes, because that's the passion. That's the drive. I love the recipe development, coming up with something that's different. And so I throw them in there, just, they may not get the page views, but it makes me happy.
Exactly. And I think that's
important.
What people need to remember, is that you started this for a reason. Mm-hmm. And like you said, there are probably some people who start it for the reason of just getting rich.
A business,
for someone like us, that's not why we started blogging.
Yeah.
We started it because we wanted to do something that we thought was fun. So I think it's really important that we still try to keep that little nugget of fun, or it just becomes something you end up dreading, and no one really wants to dread their job that much.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and that's why when it comes down to, when you said, like, you have the checklist and you try to sit down and buckle down and write it, like, it's hard. And that's where I'm with it. Like, I'm like, that's not how I do it. That's not how but you're like, oh, but Google wants it this way, and I'm like, oh, screw Google. I don't care anymore.
I mean, honestly, a lot of those checklists are literally just if someone wants to do it that way, it keeps them focused, right? Yeah. Like I've said over and over again, the SEO stuff is literally just about writing from a focused place rather than all over the map. I will also mention that both of you have children in your lives that are probably around 12 to 15. I know, Brandy, your nanny kid is right around that age these days.
No, she's 18.
Oh, stop. She cannot possibly be 18.
My oldest should be 20 this month. So
I'm just going to say unpaid interns are a thing.
I know. She's going to be home this summer. I should be like, hey.
About social media.
Proud nanny. She's not my kid, but she just got into Brown, and I'm very excited for her.
Wow. That is fantastic.
Yeah,
so Jenny Field said she's going to have her 4th anniversary this October, so that's exciting. Karen Gibson said, I have old posts where I didn't even mention the name of the recipe, much less long tail keywords.
The URLs are totally different from the recipe.
That doesn't matter that much. That's okay.
I used to think it was funny to name the title of the post nothing to do with the recipe. I have a post that's for this casserole made out of corn and broccoli, and the title of the recipe is, if it isn't broken, don't fix it.
Oh, okay.
So I know that you don't recommend changing URLs, but I think I'm going to.
No, leave it. It's fine. Just change the title of the post. Don't change the URL.
All right.
Claudia Lamascolo says, I've fixed over 1,000 posts in the last 4 months from 2009, and they're doing better than anything new. Go figure.
I know.
So just going to throw that out there as a thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got some other stuff coming through. Camilla Hawkins says, I so hear you. I blog from the heart. Love it. Courtney Odell says, I'm a big believer in finding ways to combine the two, make all the bills and love my site. Completely agree. Completely agree. All right. I'm going to put you both on the spot.
Okay.
What's your favorite thing about blogging?
Photography.
Jocelyn?
Probably recipe development. I love making the recipes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in Jocelyn's camp, and I think Jamie Lothridge, our first blogger, is in Brandy's camp.
Well, I was
kind
going
of
to
funny.
for me, like the photography and the recipe development are the artistic side for me.
Mhm.
And I feel like I'm a very artistic person in that sense. My brain is more of an artistic brain.
Yeah.
Like I'm awful at running a business. Like I've said this before many times. I literally have zero business running a business.
I think we had a conversation about making your site mobile ready.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know, whatever. I almost never pay taxes on time. I can't find receipts. I just am a disaster. But I absolutely love the whole aspect of being able to be creative.
What I'm hearing is that you're hiring a business manager. That's what I'm hearing.
So it's true. Something I work on in therapy is if you're not good at spreadsheets, then hire someone to make the spreadsheets for you.
Absolutely.
So I've been working on that. I have a fantastic VA. She's actually my next door neighbor. We literally share a wall over here.
Oh.
And she works for a couple of other bloggers, and she is the most organized person I've ever met. So she keeps me like on top of stuff because she's like, I'll say something to her and she'll write it down, and then in 2 months she'll be like, "You mentioned this. Are we on it?" Like,
You're like, what?
I need someone to remind me because I'm off in like la creative land, forgetting all about my actual like responsibilities as a job owner, like as a business and job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's like making the recipes, photographing it, and then like I have so many made and photographed. Like that's what I love. And then it comes to the editing the photos, and I hate it. It's the part that I hate the most. Like, and I'm learning, but I still hate it. And then writing, and social media, scheduling, all that. I hate all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't mind editing, but it's the like sitting down and writing because sometimes I feel like I have nothing to say, and it can be hard to like make a post up when you're like, my brain is blank.
Yeah.
You certainly can't just be like, oh, so I binge watched the Goldbergs. Do you want to hear what all 6 seasons are about? Like in one post. So
you want to write for TV Fanatic? I'm sure we could find a spot.
Yeah, I'm sure I could. I watch enough TV. Bad habits.
Is there a favorite recipe that either of you have, not your most trafficked or anything like that, but do either of you have like a favorite recipe that over and over you go back to, or that you remember as being like the most fun to develop?
So I know for me, and this is actually like, this is probably one of my most popular recipes, or it was for a long time. But so I first came up with like the cheesecake stuffed strawberries. That was the one back in like 2009 or 2010.
That went viral.
Went insane. And I used to joke that I was the one who invented it. And I go to that recipe like all of the time for parties, for everything, because it's so easy and everybody loves it. And I can put it together in a reasonable amount of time. It doesn't take me too long. I'm not scared that it's not going to turn out. I'm like, you can't mess up this recipe. So for me, it was, when I made it, I was like, holy shit. Like, oh, sorry, crap.
You're fine.
Like, this is awesome. Like, I think I just made something that people are really, really going to like. And they did, which is good.
Susanna just posted the link for you. What about yours, Jocelyn?
I'd say probably cupcakes. I mean, I used to do a lot of cupcakes, and I still go back to those if I need to, do them for parties. I used to do like takeoffs off of Starbucks drinks, like back in the day I would do a bunch of them. So that's probably the things
you got to do a dragon fruit cupcake now.
That's true. I actually have dragon fruit sitting on my counter.
Nice. Mine, I think that I'm somewhat infamous for at this point is that Rudy's cream corn.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I still to this day, I take that everywhere. Anytime we get invited anywhere, I'm just like, I'll just make that because it's literally like 6 ingredients, dump them all in a crock pot the night before you go somewhere and then just take it.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I love having like that go-to thing that will please like the majority of people at a party.
Yeah. And here we are, 2.5 years since I last updated my blog. That's the only thing that still gets traffic. So
you're getting traffic.
Hey, I'm getting traffic. Let's talk about, you didn't start out necessarily as a business, but now you are a business. What stands out as something awesome you've been able to do with your ad earnings? Jocelyn?
We were able to move. My husband's job kind of fell through when we lived in Texas, and we were able to move to Florida with my income and then be able to put the kids in a private school as well.
Wow.
And
that's pretty.
It's been huge.
Pretty awesome. Brandy?
Basically just travel, which is pretty selfish. I feel like my answers are so shallow. I don't have children. So for me, it's like I put a lot more money into travel now. I also
you're living your best life. Don't apologize for that.
I also put a lot more money into me once I started having extra income. And I mean that in a way like I started taking better care of myself. I started, going to therapy and being able to afford it and pay for it. And all of that kind of stuff I didn't really have the money before I had this extra income. And when I was working my full-time job in blogging, is when I started to kind of get a taste of the good life. And when I started doing my blog full-time, I really realized that, I could make this work and I could make enough money. And it was nice to be able to contribute more to, not just my household with my husband, but to, like I said, to plan those extra vacations, to take care of myself and not freak out as much about, like money, because I knew like once I started working with Mediavine, I kind of have a general idea of even in my lowest month, like how much money I'm going to make.
Right.
And I realize it changes every month, but there's always like a threshold. Like I know I'm at least going to make X amount of dollars. So I feel like I've been able to chill out a little bit.
Right. You just feel a little bit more secure in blogging.
So I kind of like that.
Especially since you don't like the business aspect. That's kind of a good safety net situation.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite trip?
Gosh, I absolutely love London, and I would go there every month. I would just move there right now if I could. And my husband and I went there a few years ago, and I absolutely fell in love. I was actually arguing with him because I didn't want to go to London. I wanted to go to Belize. And he's like, I really want to go to London. It was right when they first announced Brexit. So like years ago. And he's like, the pound is falling.
It dropped through the floor. Yeah.
I was like, are we planning our vacation on the conversion rate of money? He's like, we are when it comes to English. So we went there, and then I realized like, oh wow, like this is my happy place. Even though I literally got shit on by a bird, like at the Marble Arch or whatever, like.
Oh, my husband proposed to me there.
Well, I got shit on by a bird there. I think we had a better experience. And I was like, I hope this is not like how my trip's gonna go. But ever since then, I've always had a great time when I'm in London. So for me, that's my happy place. And anytime I get a chance, like I want to go there.
Yeah. Yeah. My grandpa used to tell me that was good luck. In fact, I think that recently happened to Nicole on one of our trips. Poor thing. And I was like, but it's good luck. She was not pleased or amused with me.
No one feels like it's good luck in the moment.
Yeah, it's true. Camilla Hawkins is waving at you from England and says it must have been a pigeon. definitely was a pigeon.
Definitely pigeon.
Karen Gibson said that when we were talking about, SEO versus writing what you want to write, it's feeding the machine versus feeding your heart. It's completely and totally true. You got to feed your heart in order to keep this business going, because like your personality is why your loyal readers come back. So where do you guys think blogging is headed in the next decade? Brandy?
I always hate this question because I honestly don't know, because I feel like I've said this actually earlier, like Google wants more from us. They want more text. They want more photos.
Video.
They love video. But I feel like our readers don't like any of those things. They don't want to be constantly bogged down with tons of text, and they hate scrolling because apparently it is the workout of the century to scroll.
Right? Our poor thumbs.
I know. I'm like, Jesus, guys, like, just, it's not that hard. So I have a hard time. I feel like it's a battle between audiences and Google.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that Google's going to win because they just win at life. But I don't know where that takes blogging.
Right.
I feel like from what I've seen, people have become a lot less bloggy. They're treating it, they're treating their blogs like they are Epicurious or Food Network. Like they're just treating them like
content
websites. Yes, like content websites as opposed to blogging. And again, I sort of miss that. I sort of miss the aspect of Jocelyn, like what you said, like sharing pictures of your kids and people remembering like what they looked like when they were little. I feel like things are getting super generic, and it kind of makes me sad, even though I'm probably guilty of doing it sometimes too, because that's what seems to be working.
Right. Well, and I would argue that you've got to find that place where you're still able to be the person that keeps people coming back. But also answer the questions, right? We talk about it on Theory of Content all the time. You've got more than one audience. Right. So you've got your loyal audience that comes back and remembers what your kids look like. And you've got your Google audience that comes in one time, but maybe bookmarks that recipe and comes back a bunch, but never reads more than that one post, you know? Jocelyn, what do you think?
I think it's so hard to know where it's going. Like you said, like it's changed so much, like from the text of sharing the stories to, now there's certain bloggers that like I've clicked over to, and I'm like, you used to have stories, and now it's literally
nothing about
them anymore. It's literally just about the recipe, which, I understand it. Posting all that stuff is what pays the bills, but at the same time, I think there's a happy medium.
For sure.
I really think you can do both. Like, I think you just maybe tailor it slightly. Like, I don't share such a long story anymore. It's just a little bit at the beginning, but just enough to keep my readers like, okay, it's the same person. She's not just a machine chugging out recipes in her kitchen.
I want people to keep their personality, and I'm afraid that that's going to get lost. But I feel like with anything, I feel like it's going to be a cycle. It's going to be, back in the day, we were so personal, and now it's gearing towards people being generic and just talking, just about the recipe. And then hopefully now we're hopefully going down into like a being personable again.
Right. I think, and honestly, I think as we move, let me go back to a little bit of ad tech, right, guys? So when video first started being a thing on blogs, Google was very specific that if you were going to run an ad before a video, it could not be muted. Like it absolutely could not be muted. That was against policy. And they've actually 180'd on that, because what they thought would be good user experience turned out not to be. And so they changed around, and now it's autoplay mute everywhere, right? That actually improves the user experience. And I would argue that over time, this is going to evolve, right? And they're going to realize, like, people do love knowing some of the background of the recipe, and they do love, and I would say losing that would be such a loss for so many people, because, you know, you never know what's going to come from someone writing about their grandma's recipe, and all of a sudden you find out that you and this reader's grandmothers were best friends or something. That's what life's about. Those are the coolest connections. So, you know, I definitely hear you. What you're saying is like, you know, and that would be my hope too, is that people sort of start veering back the other direction, that they do put a little bit more personality in their posts, so that we are still bloggers and we aren't content farms, right?
Yeah.
Jen Kopelek said, "Oh dear, I saw a full post in a group yesterday about that. I hate those stories," is what they were saying. So I usually try to put tips and tricks into the story, so there's a reason to read and get to the recipe, though I missed the stories too.
Yeah.
Amy Sugarman says, "Guilty." For me, I share a lot of my personality on Insta stories and in my Facebook group. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, Amy. Like I said, it's a work in progress. Karen,
sorry. I was
no, go ahead.
That like Insta stories for me is real true personality. Like every social media has a different face. You know, Pinterest has no face because it's just Pinterest. Insta stories is the real true me, F words included. Instagram main feed is pretty stuff. Facebook is pretty normal. Twitter, well, no one's really on Twitter, which is fantastic because I can just be like my real self, you know.
Everyone run and follow Brandy on Twitter.
You know, I don't have cable anymore, but I used to like live tweet The Bachelor and Bachelorette. I used to like tweet along while I was watching election, whatchamacallits, the debates.
Oh, okay.
I was like everything. I'm like, I don't care who knows anything about me. This is Twitter and it's the wild, wild west and I will say what I want.
Amazing.
So, you know, I feel like every aspect of social media has a different little face that we have to put on.
Right. I would say that's pretty darn accurate. So Karen Gibson said, "I think the tech demands of running a blog are going to weed out the field in the coming years. SEO, site speed, theme, and plugin issues, getting banned by Pinterest. It's no longer about just sitting down and typing. There's so much other stuff to pay attention to." That is definitely true. Running your website. I think a lot of us that came to this as passion projects, like just kind of didn't realize that we're running websites.
Yeah.
So yeah. How do you guys stay on top of blogging trends or stay ahead of the curve? Do you, don't you? What's your feelings on that, Jocelyn?
I'd say it's probably a mix of half and half. Sometimes I'm just like my head in the sand. I don't know what's going on. Other times just being in Facebook groups, like listening in and saying, you know, hearing different things being brought up. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I should Google it. Maybe I should figure out about that or learn more about that particular thing that's, you know, this is the new big thing. Like when video came out, I was like, I'm not doing video. I was in the middle of doing a cookbook. I don't have time to learn video, you know? So once I get that done, then I'm like, okay, I have to learn it now. So, you know, you just do it. Like, you know, if you want to be anywhere and go anywhere with it, you know, you've got to always be evolving. You've got to always be evolving. You've got to be relevant and you've got to learn what's, you know, trending at the time.
Brandy?
I hate to say this, but my husband won't be watching this, so it's fine. But I usually wait for him to tell me something. He just seems, my husband is an engineer, so he has nothing to do with blogging, and he helps me 0% on the like IT side of it or anything. But I mean, I remember 5 years ago, he's like, you should really start doing video. And I was like, nobody wants to see video. He's like, I'm telling you, it's the next thing. Like, you need to get on video. So I always hate it because he'll tell me to do something. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And then in like a year, it'll just be the biggest thing. And he's like, I told you that you should have been doing that.
It's the worst when they're right.
And he's always right. And I don't know why I don't listen to him. But also, it's like, he's not the one doing any of the work. So it's really easy to say I should do video. But
right. There's a lot that goes into it.
And I also get like, I have tons of ideas that I come up with that I don't follow through on. I mean, I'm going to blame that on ADHD or just any of the above. So I know for me, I need to just trust myself and jump on the things that I want to do, because in the end, I find that I'm not the only one that has those ideas, and then they start to become really popular. And by the time that I get around to do it, it's like, oh yeah, everyone's doing that now. So
right.
I need to kind of be less scared of doing something that not everyone else is doing, because it might be the next thing.
Right. So interestingly, Jen Kopelek says that Twitter's huge right now for people ages 18 to 24, and Facebook is like MySpace. Oh, that makes me feel a little bit sick. But also Amy Sugarman said she thinks your Twitter feed, especially the Bachelor tweets, are why she fell in love with you, Brandy. Lori Lang has a really great idea. She says, I find it super helpful to be in group text with other blogging friends, and we kind of alert each other to updated blogging news as it happens. That's a great like sort of filter to distill stuff, because the Facebook's algorithm doesn't show us everything that's happening in the groups all the time. So that is a smart way to do it. So guys, we are coming up on a whole hour. Can you believe that? That went by so quick.
Wow, questions.
I know we haven't. So let me think about the last questions we have. So do you think that there's hope for new bloggers starting out in 2019 to make blogging their career? If so, what advice would you have for a newbie?
So just be patient and just do the work. Like there's room for, think of how many millions of people there are online. Like there's room for everybody. You just have to be able to be willing to put your head down and actually do the work. Not everyone's an overnight success. It's years and years of actually putting in hard work and, reaping the benefits. But it's definitely possible.
Gonna say the same thing. Like I do feel like right now the market is crazy saturated. I feel like back in the day, if someone mentioned a blog, like I knew it. Now when someone mentions a food blog, I'm like, I don't know, never heard of them. Unless they happen to be in the circle of people that have either been around for a long time or that I am friends with.
Right.
And so I do, I think that some people get into blogging because they think that they're going to become famous, and that's not a guarantee. And
it's not. Or it might happen without having any audience at all. I was watching Guys Grocery Games last night, and it was a blogger episode, and I had never heard of any of the bloggers that were on the episode. And I went and I looked them up, and I was just like, yeah, it's crazy.
I think that you should definitely be getting into the blogging game, because I think there needs to be a part of you that really wants to do this, not just to, bring in a business. And so I think that you need to have a little bit of heart in the game. And as much as I hate it, like there is luck involved. Some people are just in the right place at the right time, but for the majority of us, like it's hard work. And if you want to do that, then that's great. Just know that
it's going to take some time.
Not everyone gets famous.
Yeah. So 2 last questions for you. So I'll start with the serious one, and then we'll do one last fun one. What do you guys want to see from Mediavine in the future? What can we help you do better? Content writing, it sounds like.
Pay someone to write. Just actually offer your services up for free for someone to write my posts.
Okay.
And help me one for everything, and we'd be good to go. No.
Do all my SEO, just take care of it all.
Exactly. Honestly, I think what you're doing now if you stay on with that, like that will be the most helpful to myself, and I'm sure every other blogger. Just being upfront with the news that you hear, helping people achieve things like SEO. I have such a hard time comprehending SEO because I start to read it and then I'm like, I should watch a Lifetime movie. I can't focus on it, but you put the information out there, and for someone like me, it's like I can give it to my VA and she can read it and maybe like regurgitate that to me in a way in which I will understand. She used to be a third grade teacher, so my opinion is she can teach me. I think as long as you continue to do everything like you have been and being honest and upfront, like that's all I want. Like that's all I want from you is to keep trying to help us all be as great as, you know, we can be.
Hurt. Jocelyn?
I would say, you know, a lot of the same things, like just, you know, you guys are so good about staying on top of, you know, the current things or, you know, the different things like with the Create plugin and, you know, just, you know, giving back to all of us and, you know, and just being there for us and posting, you know, the different lives that you do, the different blog posts that with the, you know, I've gone through them. I still don't understand all the SEO tips that are in them, but having that information available to where I can read it again for the 5th time and maybe it'll sink in, you know, just, you know, continuing to have that education available with us.
And I was also going to say, like, I like that you offer the information in different ways. So you might offer it in a written post that someone can read, but you also do things like podcasts. So for people who maybe learn a little bit differently, like reading, I mean, I love to read for fun, but I don't like to read to learn.
For work, I
zone out, but I can listen to stuff. Or I'm a visual learner. Like if you could make a whole like post on how to do something, you know, how to do SEO, how to use SEMrush, like, and it's a video and I can watch it. Like those things to me are insanely helpful. I'm such a visual learner that like YouTube is my holy grail for figuring out how to do anything, because if like I said, if I try to read about it, I just zone out. But I do like that you offer kind of different ways for people to learn information.
Right. Okay, cool. Last fun question, ladies. If you could have dinner or cook dinner for any person alive or dead, who would it be? Jocelyn first.
This wasn't on the list of questions.
No, it wasn't.
I know.
Off the top of the head. I think. Maybe I would say my grandma. She died before. My mom was 4, so I've never met her. But I think that would be somebody that would be really neat to be able to sit down with and, you know, just to learn a little bit more about heritage and a little bit more about, you know, like what she was like. Like I know the stories my mom has told me, and a lot of those are just stories that people told her. Like she didn't even know her. So I think that would be kind of fun.
That'd be cool. Brandy?
I mean, I definitely do think that I would love to have dinner with my grandma. Even though she'd probably yell at me and be like, you cut too much skin off the potato. The woman could peel a potato and get 0 flesh, like, you know, the white part. Oh, she was amazing.
With a knife, right? Not a peeler?
With the paring knife. And it was just as thin as possible. And she'd be like, you're over there wasting all those taters. And I'm like, sorry, Grandma. I mean, she's the sweetest woman in the world, but apparently do not mess with her potatoes.
Yeah.
But if I was being maybe a little more shallow, I would probably want to eat with Ina just because I really love that woman. Like, but I want to be there on a Friday when she makes a roast chicken for Jeffrey. And I want to go to the flower market with her. And I want to pick out things and set her table and hang out in her garden. And
we need to start secreting this for you.
Just my God, please.
Start manifesting it.
All I want to do is hang out with Ina for one day and cook with her and then eat in her beautiful garden. And I would die like so happy. I also wouldn't mind eating with Dan Levy, but that's for carnal reasons. So.
Okay. All right. I think that just about wraps it up. What a note to end on. So our next Summer of Live is Tuesday, June 11th at 3 p.m. Eastern with Eric Hochberger, the one and only. By then, we will have hit the milestone of 5,000 publishers.
Yay!
Yes. So we're going to go live chatting about Mediavine's history because it goes way back beyond the last 4 years as an ad provider. And we thought we'd get together and talk about all of that and how we got to where we are today. So that newbies can understand kind of what you ladies do about the ethos of Mediavine and why we do things the way that we do. Because I think it'd be really great for a lot of folks that came to us a different way. And just like having you here today was so wonderful because you really kind of were the beginning of the ad arm of this company. And we, as I said, we call you our original six. You guys are near and dear to our hearts. And we thank you for hanging with us today and hanging with us for the last 4 years, trusting us with all aspects of your money making. It's been pretty darn amazing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate everything you guys do.
Yeah, and thank you so much for asking me to talk today. I had a lot of fun.
Good.
I
I'm glad.
really lives, but they're always fun when they're with friends.
They are. Jocelyn, this was her first.
It was, and I'm still here. I made it.
Yay!
You did great.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. And tune in again on Tuesday, where I will grill Eric Hochberger, I promise. And we will see you then. All right,
yes,
guys.
I'll see you next week, Amber.
Yes, we'll see you next week at the Mediavine conference, everybody.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.